Alright, it's going to be kind of a step-by-step of how to tie kitty whiskers onto a bowstring. Because, let's be honest, kitty whiskers definitely look better than like monkey tails and other string silencers. But we'll go through a little bit of the prep work, how to tie them, and how to cut them. So, just stay tuned, keep watching. You might learn something. Alright, first thing you need to do is decide on what length you want them. We're actually going to cut them about 1.25 inches. Once you get your length decided, you can go ahead and mark them. That way you have a cut reference once you get them tied on.
I keep these little tabs here. They're right at 1.25 inches. Okay, and that's where you're going to be actually cutting the rubber once you have it installed. So you're going to need something like that. Paper clips always come in handy. That'll hold it on the bowstring. I always keep a marker. And then if you don't want to cut your hands all up, because trust me, I've done it before, we've got a pair of these. Okay, so what I'm going to do is he wants black and red. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the black down first. Then I will put my 1.25 inch thing down here. Okay, and you don't want to cut them right at 1.25 inches because you still need to be able to grab onto this to pull it. That's how you get that little pretty ball. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it here on black. It's a little bit harder to see, but you'll be able to see it. Okay, so I marked that. Okay, so that's your cut line. That's where you're going to cut once it's tied on. And you want to put about 3 pieces of these cat whiskers will make a nice ball. So then I'm going to mark this one. So that's going to give me 2 sets of black. What I'll do is come in here with my scissors. Now you don't want it, whenever you cut these like this, you don't want to be putting any kind of strain on it. You don't want to be pulling it or have any tension on the rubber because it will start separating. And you want to kind of do this with a fairly sharp pair of scissors. See, and then my lines here, that's going to give me enough room to be able to grab onto that and pull it whenever I decide to cut it. Now depending on how you want your colors, like with this I went black, then red in the middle, and black on the outside. It'll kind of give you a little bit of that kind of like a stacked layered color look. So put my red in the center, lay the black on top. Then it's always good to go ahead and kind of mark your center just a little bit, because that will show you where you want your string to go. Your markings facing you, or facing away from you at first. Okay, I'm gonna put it right in here between these speed knocks. That way, if there's any movement, it's gonna move a little. But if it does move, it's not gonna go up and down your string or get caught in your cams because it's got the speed knock here to hold it in place. Okay, there's my center mark. You're gonna wrap that there. And you're gonna wrap this around. You're gonna take your clothespin, put it on there. Take your other clothespin. Put it on there. And see that really doesn't matter. I'm just kind of OCD about it because it's all going to be tight anyway once you tighten it. Okay, so you know that that's going to be where your center is going to go. That's where your string is going to be. Take your wax string, the string that you previously waxed. Put a little eyelet on the end of it. Both ends of it. Make sure and don't be stingy with your string. Make sure you get enough on there because the last thing you want to do is be fighting it with the little tedious small little amount of string. You know, serving strings, not super cheap, but it's not that expensive, especially whenever you think about how much you're getting in a foot. So I'll make my first circle right here. Okay, sometimes depending on how you feel that day, you always want to at least do 2 overhand knots. You can go 3. On this one I'm gonna go 2 just to see if I can't get it to burl out a little better, make it a little bit tighter of a ball. And you line that string up with your mark, cinch it tight, kind of wipe away that wax. Okay, that first one, kind of want to get it pretty tight. Put your ball or your little guys in here that you have. Either you can use little dowel rods, you can use whatever. Now the key is you want this as tight as you can get it. But don't go too tight because you can break it. You will break this string. And if you just bring it down a little bit closer to your knot, you can get tight without it getting too awfully bad. Now see how it cinched that up there. Okay, you cinch that up, keep a little tug on it, keep it tight. And see, it will loosen up a little bit, but then whenever you do your second one, all that will tighten back up and it usually will stay. So come in under here with your 1. That's your 1 overhand knot. Okay. Bring another one in here. 2 overhand knots. Okay. Pull that in tight. Right on your line, cinch it, and see, now that I let off of it, it holds that tight there. Double overhand knot is a good thing sometimes. You keep it facing up to hold that pressure on there. Do 1 more double overhand knot, bring it down, cinch it on the other side. All right, now take your rods 1 more time. That is not going to go anywhere. Now you know you got your last double overhand knot on the top here. Go ahead and just give it one more squeeze by hand, just to make sure it's tightened back up. Now you're going to go with a single overhand knot to finish that off. Hold tight. One more single. Now we're tight. Okay, you want to cut it about like that. Like that. You're going to take your lighter, take your little card that you made, kind of poke it right in here behind that so you don't melt your rubber. Just push it down. That right there is going to keep that knot from breaking loose. Okay. Now you can go ahead and take your paper clips off, and it's right there. Okay. Now one thing you can do, the way I like to cut these, is you want to feel in the middle. Okay, here's a speed knock, here's a speed knock. Go ahead and slide it up to where you feel it right in the center of them. Okay, and you can go ahead and start ripping these in sections. I just rip them in small sections. Makes it easier to grab it. And then you're left with this here. It's already kind of forming a little bit, but where you're really going to get that forming that nice ball is whenever you pull it and you cut it to that 1¼ length. And whenever you pull it, you want to give it a decent little amount of pull. Okay, so you can see my mark here. You're going to pull that and see where the mark is. You're going to cut it either right on the center or just below it, and it just starts breaking free. And then you just gotta kind of work it back and forth a little bit, you know, get it to where you want it. You can pull on these a little bit. If you pull this side back towards there, this side back towards here, it will kind of close that gap a little bit. And you can pinch it down in there. Then any of them that aren't broken free, if you got some that are 2 or 3 stuck together, you just pull on them like this, and that will break them free. Then you can go through and do whatever trimming you want, just to make it look uniform. Now you got yourself a pretty little set of cat whiskers on your bow that A, one, make it look kind of cool, and B, these actually work better for string silencers than most other types of monkey tails or anything like that. It's just, you know, you always see them hanging where they don't really look like, you know, they don't look like a ball. They're just more of a look like a just hanging kind of
like that.
Like that.
Look like that crap right there.
Look like a fishing lure. Look like you're getting ready to go jig fishing with your bow. And I don't jig fish with my bow. I'm not sure about you guys.
Well, there you have it. Nothing hard about it. Real time, less than 20 minutes. And I was actually going through all the steps, telling y'all how to do it and everything else. So, it's something anybody can do in their garage. I'd seen stuff on it, but never actually seen it done in person. Jesse said he does it all the time. So, 15 minutes of your time, I think, between the serving material and these little rubber things, have like $5 in it. Now, I don't think that's too bad of a deal.
No.
$5, you get a little string silencers, add a little bit of cosmetics to your bow, make it look a little prettier. But
One thing,
all in all, I think it works out pretty good. Y'all stay tuned. Have a couple more videos coming up. I'm actually going to be reserving the peep sight on this bow too. It's a little too low for me. So y'all catch the next video. All right.